Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Today I have a very special show for you. This is actually a request for the Fridays challenge. So each week I've been doing for the last 2-3 weeks now. I've been doing a challenge to sort of engage the comic community about different covers, like top 10 various types of covers. And this week, based on a friend of mine who requested Nazi covers. Okay, so a little bit controversial, maybe. He requested best Nazi covers. So I actually didn't have many Nazi covers in my collection, believe it or not. But I figured I'd pull as many as I could find. And I did come up with some really great ones for my top 10 list. But this is a shout out to Kiwi who requested this video. And I'll do a different topic next week. But this week's challenge to the community is best Nazi covers. And there's some really great ones. If you have any of the Golden Age stuff in your collection, there's a lot of really great Nazi covers from the Golden Age. I just don't happen to have many. So we're going to show you, I'll show you what I have though. So first I'm going to show you just some various Nazi covers that I do have that didn't make the top 10 list, but as I was digging through all my boxes, I literally dug through all of my long boxes to try to find Nazi covers because I really don't have that many. But I did find a few. So this is the first one I found, Boy Commandos. And this is Boy Commandos number 2. I think this is the second series. And it's, it's a good one because it's like, they're hiding and you got the Nazis in the background and, there's like a cat, and it's like maybe going to throw off their whole, hiding stuff going on. I just think it's a great cover. Didn't make my list. I like good girl stuff too much. And you'll see that once I get to the top 10 list. So this is just an honorable mention, I guess. There's a bunch of honorable mentions. On the more sexy side of things, there's this one, Misbehavin', the cover of Airboy Comics. This is Air Fighters with Airboy, number 1. And this is from Moonstone. So this is like just a really great cover in the respect that it's kind of pays homage to the kind of insignias that they would put on the airplanes, where they would kind of put these kind of sexy girls, these pinup girls on the side of airplanes during the war. And it's got like the swastikas and stuff. So I didn't think it was Nazi enough. So it didn't make my list. So I'm just going to show you a bunch and you'll see. Okay. And then we got this one, another of these air fighters. This is number 2, I believe. And it's just a really great Valkyrie cover. I like Valkyrie. She's kind of hot, sexy girl. And just like, you see her and she's like kind of hanging out and you got this Nazi guy in the foreground. Just a interesting cover. Okay. And then we got Domino Lady Threesome, number 1. And this is just them standing, like they're ready to fight some Nazis and, they're all gung-ho and you got all the kind of Nazi paraphernalia in the background. And I just thought it was a really great cover. Lots of good girl art. You got Domino Lady and Lady Vale, I believe her name is. I forgot what her name is. I forgot her name. I'm trying to remember her name. But yeah, so we got some cool Nazi cover there. That's Domino Lady Threesome number 1. And then we got this is Rifle Brigade number 2. And I just think it's a really great, a little bit sexy, a little bit like, this guy's like crying over his lost friend, and you got the Nazi woman, Gestapo like a woman in the background. She's got a whip. They always have whips. If it's a Nazi girl, I don't know why, she has to have a whip, and sort of a buxom thing going on there, and doing the Hail Hitler thing, and got the little swastika armband. these are all the cliches. you know, there's so many cliches around Nazis and kind of the sexy side of the Nazi thing. So I thought this was an interesting one. Didn't make my top 10 list. Again, there's a lot of really great ones once I get to my top 10 list. So this is number 2 of Rifle Brigade. I just thought it was a great book. Just for the cover. I really just thought the cover was cool. A lot of these books you can pick up really cheap. They're about $2. It's nothing expensive. So this is a really great one. And this is Spicy Tales number 10. And it's just, it's got the kind of upskirt going on, I guess. And, she's climbing into the Zeppelin. Nazis always have to have their Zeppelins. And, you got the Nazi planes flying around and, just a really great action-y cover. So this is still not in my top 10 list, but I thought it was a great one. I figured I'd show it. Getting close to the top 10 list. Okay. Just showing my whole collection of Nazi covers, I guess. This is Valkyrie number 1. Again, I as I said, I'm a big fan of Valkyrie. This is her right here. And just thought this was just a nice, not necessarily action, but, like kind of that pose action kind of style. So this is Valkyrie number 1. Just thought it was a great cover. And then we got, this is a kind of an important book. This is Showcase 104. And it's the very last Showcase book. And it's just a cool Nazi cover. You got you got the circus act going on in the Nazi arena. And you got all the, Nazi soldiers ready to shoot. It's kind of interesting. Unless the identity of the spy is known as Arthur is revealed, we will execute these two. So I think it's a great, interesting cover. So I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so now we get into my top 10 list. Okay, so those were the sort of appetizers in terms of some cool Nazi covers. But let's get into my top 10 list. And these are the books that I'm challenging with. I hope that, some of the people in the comic community can, rise up to this challenge. This is a hard one. Finding Nazi covers is actually quite challenging. So this was a bit of a challenge. So we're going to start with one of my favorite Golden Age characters, but this is a modern comic of her. And this is Miss Fury. And I really like Miss Fury. She's kind of like Catwoman in many ways. She has like claws and stuff. And, this is a great cover. She's just ripping up the Nazi flag. And it's really, it's an interesting storyline, actually, where she kind of goes into an alternate reality where the Nazis have won. And she's like kind of trying to fight them. So, yeah, Miss Fury, number 4. And this is, I actually have like multiple versions of this. I have the variant of this as well. So, Miss Fury, number 4. So that's number 10 on my list. Now, this is a really great cover. I think there's just so many elements going on this cover that are just really cool. So this is a Nazi cover with Wonder Woman. So this is, I think, the only Nazi Wonder Woman cover that I can think of. And you can tell me in the comments below if you know of any other Nazi Wonder Woman covers, but this is the only one I could think of. And you got so many things going on. So Wonder Woman in bondage. That's so typical for Wonder Woman. She's always in bondage. She actually carries her whole bondage gear with her. It's like, that's what she does. And then you got like this Nazi robot in the background. Okay. And it's just I think, so I think that's Red Panzer. And then he's like, controlling the things, and he's sending a bomb at her. Like, little swastikas all over it. And it's just so much coolness going on. So it's like, it's probably like a V1 rocket or something. It's like got all that Nazi stuff going on there. So I think whenever you get sort of these quirky things where it's like a Nazi robot, that's kind of cool. So I thought that was a really great cover. So this is Wonder Woman 229. I thought that was a really strong cover for Nazi covers. So that's number 9 on my list. Number 8 on my list is a really great one by Dave Stevens. Really, an artist that I really like. And this is Black Angel. Just a really sexy cover. You got the swastika in the background. You got black angels in the foreground wearing, kind of a interesting costume. So yeah, just a really great, sexy kind of Nazi cover. You got the flames and stuff in the background too. Just, you know, and you got the warplanes and the searchlights. Just so many elements that are really subtle in this. And she's in bondage, of course, and just just so many great elements that are very, very subtle. You think when you first see it, it's just like it's just like a girl standing there, kind of typical cover. But then you see all these little elements: the flames, the chains around her wrists, the fact that she's pinned up against the swastika. You got the planes in the background. It's just so subtle and just really, really nicely done. So I really like this one, Black Angel, #1 by Dave Stevens cover. And I actually got this book and these two books together. It was a set. It was an interesting set. And this is Valkyrie, another Valkyrie one. And this one's a little bit, bit cheeky, I guess. I just think it's a really sexy cover. She's like holding the Nazi flag to cover herself. And just a really great cover, I think. Very sexy. So this is Valkyrie. And I'm not even sure what number it is. It's just Valkyrie. You got all the kind of SS flags in the background with the skulls and stuff, and the typical like eagle on the top as well. So just a really great cover. Okay, now we get into some more. So as I was saying, there's sort of like the sexy Nazi girls. So I'm throwing a bit of sexy Nazi girls. So one of the things that this is Creepy, #3 from Dark Horse, and it's like Evil Never Dies. You got the sexy Nazi girl. They always have like the stockings too. That's another kind of thing, and the little hat. She's even got the little, I think she's even wearing like a little Hitler mustache, I'm pretty sure. So just a lot of interesting things there going on. And you got all the guys in the background giving her the Hail Hitler salute. So just a really sexy, kind of fun cover. So, yeah. I like the good girl art. What can I say? Or in this case, the Nazi good girl art? I don't know. We're still in the sexy genre. This one's a really interesting one. So, I really like B movies. Okay, so I kind of grew up watching a lot of B movies, like B horror movies, a lot of really sort of campy movies, and some of the ones that I really enjoyed, that are really kind of silly and way over the top, are Ilsa. Okay, so Ilsa, they have the Ilsa and the Warden. It's like all these Ilsa movies, and it's like she's like kind of like this buxom, kind of really busty girl, who is just like evil, evil Nazi and torturing people, and just very extreme kind of movie, not meant for kids. But this kind of reminds me of those movies. It's kind of the Nazi war camp, and it's with Razor. So this is FMF number, I believe, I forgot what number this is. So it's #3, yes. So it's got that kind of girl in bondage, skull on the top. You got they always, like, I don't know why it is, but evil Nazis always have a monocle. It's a weird thing. See, he's got the monocle. There's so many like things, like, and they got the flamethrower going on, and like, you got the watchtower in the background and the Nazi flag. I just think this is a really great cover, very sexy. You got her all in bondage, and then you got, this is the lust orgy of the wild nymphos. It has that sort of, there's like a series of magazines called Man Comics, or Man magazines, and they have this kind of style. It's kind of very similar to those pulp magazines that came out in the early 50s. So not meant for children magazines. So this is kind of reminds me of that. So FMF #3. And that's number 5 on my list, I believe. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was number 5. Now, this one is a really interesting one. So moving away from the good girl art or sexy art, and we're moving into kind of interesting ones. This one I kind of really like for a very odd reason. This one is like the Hitler mask. So it's sort of like this idea that it's like this will be the most dangerous role I've ever played. It's like, somebody using the Hitler mask and sort of becoming Hitler. I think it's very interesting. So I just thought this was a really great sort of Nazi kind of cover. Thought this was, so this is number 4 on my list. That's the DC Star Spangled War Stories, number 156. It's actually kind of an interesting issue to get. So and it has like all these other dictators and good people and bad people, actually. So you got Churchill, and I think that's Truman. Just a bunch of important historical figures. Okay, now one of the things that happened during the Second World War was they really wanted to create what's called a propaganda cover against Nazism. So and one of the only ones that I have, I actually have others that are more towards the Japanese, but this one is one towards Hitler, and I think it's a really great one because it's in a children's comic. So this is Super Duck, number 1, and it's got like Hitler being squished, crushed by Super Duck, and I think that's really great. And you got the Japanese leader as well. So just a really great one. Super Duck number 1. There's a lot of these where it's either them punching a Nazi or fighting with Nazis. I thought this was a really great one, and it's one of those ones which is kind of cool because it is that character of Hitler where it's kind of really making fun of Hitler, and I always think that's cool. So really great cover. Super Duck number 1. And this is my only Golden Age book that I'm showing, actually. But as I said, if people out there watching this video have some Golden Age war covers, there are some really amazing ones. One of the best ones, in my opinion, is like some of the Captain America ones. Captain America number 1 is like him punching Hitler. It's just so awesome. So another really great kind of, like, I like Vampirella, and I thought this one was really cool. Again, it's kind of mimicking that pulp style, the men's magazine. There's like a whole bunch of these sort of 50s magazines where they kind of had this, they really were into the Nazi covers for some reason, and the sexy Nazis. Okay, so it's like, again, the that sort of style to the woman's dress, and she's got the whip, she's wearing the patch and the little hat, and it's just I thought this was a really great cover. Very dominatrix looking like girl, and then you got Vampirella, sort of a different style for Vampirella, but Vampirella here in bondage. I thought it was a really interesting cover, and they try to really capture a lot of the pulp elements in it. So I thought that was interesting. So that's number 2 on my list. Now, number 1 on my list. This is my actual favorite comic about Nazism, I guess. It's just a really great comic altogether. And it's one that's misunderstood a lot of the time because it was really speaking out against Nazism. But it's just such a great cover. It's Hansi, the girl who loved the swastika. And it's just a really great cover. Actually, this is Hitler in the background. I'm not sure if you can see. That's Hitler right there. And it's just such a contrast because you got all this kind of Nazi stuff. And in a way, it kind of shows the real horror of the Nazi party. The horror is not, they did so many evil things. But the people at the time, they didn't see it. And they embraced it with love and joy. It's like they thought it was a good thing that Hitler was in power and all. there was just so much craziness going on. And this sort of captures that in a way. It's like the innocence of the girl and just this evil force in behind her that people at the time were cheering on, you know. And this is a modern comic. It's from 1973. And it was, created by a religious group that was basically speaking about the horrors of Nazism because it was very anti-religious. Like a lot of socialist things, that's what people don't realize. Socialism and Nazism and socialist um, are very anti-religion. And once you replace religion for some other ideology, it can go down pretty dark routes. And that's exactly what happened with the Nazis. So I just think it's a really great cover, really great story. And this is my favorite Nazi cover. Now, if you want to show me your favorite Nazi covers and compete with mine, you can use the hashtag. I'm going to put it in the title. I'm not sure what to call this video because I want to say best Nazi covers because that sounds so weird, but probably top Nazi covers, maybe. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I will call it something. It'll be in the title, and I'll use the hashtag Nazi comic covers. Okay, so hashtag Nazi comic covers, and anyone that uses that hashtag will see all your videos. So in the past, last week I did girl power video comic covers, and I always do a poll. So at the end of all this, I will poll the top 5 and what people think of the top 5 Nazi covers or good girl art or whatever it is. And last week, the winner from last week, the best girl in power kind of cover was this one. I was actually surprised. I was actually hoping for my Miss Fury #1 to win, but it was this one where you got all the girls beating up all the guys. And, they say, all right, girls, that finishes off these male chauvinist pigs. It's sort of a girl power kind of cover. So this one was the one that won. I think it was like really close though. It was between Miss Fury and this one. So this one won by just a few extra votes. So this was the winner of last week's challenge. I thought that was quite interesting. And I, again, will have a poll in my community tab for this video, and you can vote for your favorite of the ones that I showed. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really... It took me a long time to prepare this video because I really did have to search through my collection to find all these Nazi covers. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and tell me what you think of these challenge videos. Do you enjoy this? I'm going to do it for a few more weeks based on what people think of these challenge things. I really want to engage the community. That's my whole goal here. So thanks again. Bye for now.